Well, hello there. Moon Knight is a very underrated character, and he has been for a pretty long time. Some people consider him just an insane Batman, but in my opinion the character always went further than that. I personally fell in love with the guy during his 2016 run, which is basically a Shutter Island story where you doubt the reality of everything that's happening. And ever since then I've been reading nearly every single run. I can recall from memory the amazing run with the Sun King, the tussle with the Avengers, and especially the new arch-enemy to Moon Knight, Zodiac, who reminds me of Joker a lot, but honestly, Moon Knight needed his own arch-enemy and this one is pretty good. My point being is that Moon Knight is a great character, and because of that, I often get an itch. An itch that's very hard to scratch once again. I want to play some good Moon Knight games. And guess what? It's not exactly easy because they don't exist. God, I want a Marvel Street level video game so bad. Anyways, in this video, similar to what I did with Daredevil, I will go over every single video game where you can be the Moon Knight. And there are definitely a few hidden gems to go through. Without any more delay, let's start. And we're starting with the bottom of the barrel. Diving into, once again, mobile games. The first game on the list is Contest of Champions, a mobile fighting game if you can call it that. And things are kinda sad here, not gonna lie. Moon Knight is one of the oldest champions in the game alongside with Daredevil. He's literally been in the game for like a decade now, I think, and never managed to get a buff. Yeah, unfortunately that means he's just very obsolete. He would not get you anywhere near the high level content that the game needs you to complete, and I just can't recommend anyone to pick him up. I'll grant the developers one thing, they did make him special at least in one way. He becomes stronger when literal moon in real life changes phases, and that gives him buffs in the game. But that also means he's only good on specific hours during the month, if that's how it works, and this is just silly. They do plan to add Mr. Knight at some point in the future, which was announced already, I think last year by the developers, so at least there is that. But as of now, Moon Knight is not the choice to make in this game. Next game is gonna be Marvel Future Fight, and things are actually a little brighter here. Mark Spector has his classic, armored, Mr. Knight, and the TV show outfits. He's a skill level character alongside Daredevil, and uses his fighting abilities alongside with the Crescent Darts quite a bit. He also has a team-up ability that literally summons Morbius and Elsa Bloodstone to wreak some havoc. And all of this is alright, but what actually surprised me was his Mr. Knight outfit. Like a lot. The guy suddenly gets equipped with double shotguns that you can just shoot your enemies with. And then you can wrap it all up with one Mr. Cool grenade throw as you walk away from the explosion. We add some staff combat into the mix and overall smooth movement, and I gotta say, this felt pretty good. I felt for a moment like I was the Mr. Knight from the comics I read. Not bad, Nat Marble. Too bad it's a mobile game, huh? And now we're diving into Marvel Strike Force, a turn-based strategy game. And Moon Knight is quite a wild card character here. He has a random chance to get a unique buff every time he attacks. In addition, he can remove a bunch of buffs from the enemies. You'll get most bang for your buck if you fit him together with someone like Daredevil, White Tiger, or Elektra. But that's about all I can say. This is the game I played the least, just cause I don't like turn-based that much. And that's all mobile games I could find with Moon Knight, at least playable live once as of now. So let's get off the bottom and hopefully move towards something a little more better. And we'll start with one of my favorites, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the classic Marvel RPG with a giant roster that covers a lot of Marvel Universe. And yeah, I have this game modded to high heaven, the skins, skills, even some movesets are changed. For Moon Knight, I only touched his skins because the default ones are quite low polygon by today's standards, so I got him an armored skin installed that looks more fresh. Funny enough, I'm pretty sure the skin is a port from one of the mobile games we just played. Anyways, he is centered around buffing himself with his moon powers, having a solid hand-to-hand rotation, utilizing his onks and all that. And he is even able to control where they go from time to time, which is pretty cool. Finally, a cool addition is one of his skills actually changes his moveset. As Moon Knight gets his staff out and now instead of hand-to-hand, you can pummel your enemies with a weapon. This is not modded by the way, his default moveset is like this. I only touched the skins, and it's pretty cool. Overall, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is just a very solid game, and if you've never played it, I once again can highly recommend it. Especially if you're willing to put in a tiny bit of modding effort. It literally adds whole new levels and endings, which I will go over one day, but not today. This game deserves its own video. Now, when it comes to sequels, sadly Moon Knight skipped on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, and he is not in the game. But he did come back fresher than ever for the third one, which is a Switch exclusive in form of a DLC. And it's honestly just badass. So far, the best Moon Knight gameplay in this video. He mixes in his crescent darts throwing with some fast martial arts attacks, and has a bunch of traversal abilities that let him escape out of danger. Feels like a Daredevil mixed with Punisher to me. He's not as OP as the first game, but feels quite authentic. If you have the DLC, you can play through the entire game with him from the very beginning. Once again, must pick if you have the Switch for this one. I'm honestly considering fully replaying this game from the beginning if it ever gets a Switch 2 update. And well, if I ever get my hands on Switch 2. Before we dive more into full-on AAA goodness, we will also touch on Marvel Super Heroes Omega, a Diablo-styled Marvel game, and it definitely feels a little different and a little slower. But if you enjoy this kind of gameplay, you might be in for a good treat. You get to choose from a pretty good variety of Moon Knight skins and then simply dive into either main story or some of the dungeons along the way. And in here, once again, you have dozens of skills to unlock and an infinite amount of loot to find to make your very own broken Moon Knight build. And honestly, I enjoyed this character's playstyle here a lot, because he's able to keep a pretty good distance away from the enemy and mainly attack with his ranged attacks, while my previous character, Daredevil, always had to get up close and personal. But of course, if you choose, you can smack opponents around as well with some of the fist or staff hits. Overall, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly just wanted to play this game super quickly and move on, because I played so much of it as Daredevil already, and my Moon Knight had to be started from level 1 all over again. But then I just kinda got addicted and started playing, and leveling the guy more and more, and I just kept on playing and playing, even though realistically this is not my kind of video game honestly. I never even played Diablo, it still hooked me up. So if you find the Marvel Diablo concept even a tiny bit interesting, I can recommend this one too. All you need is to look up the Project Tahiti for Marvel Heroes Omega, and you'll be set to go with instructions how to install it. Alright, with that out of the way, time for a full-on AAA Moon Knight experience I promised. And that will of course be a mod for Batman Arkham. Yeah. Believe it or not, we're already diving into mods to look for where else we can play as Moon Knight. But at least we start with the classics. Last time, I've had my share of fun as Daredevil here, but unlike Daredevil, who replaces Nightwing, Moon Knight in this game actually replaces Batman, and it honestly feels quite authentic. Flying the streets, beating up enemies, it all feels just right. I can't deny playing this once again just makes me long for a Marvel Street Heroes game so bad. Unfortunately, all you can do in this one is once again roam the streets, beat up bad guys, and you can have fun in AR challenges teaming up with Daredevil. But that's about it. And the same can be said for the Gotham Knights game, which also adds Moon Knight to the game if you'd like. It will work pretty much the same way, but the combat is worse now, so I still pick Arkham Knight in most cases. Now, if you're feeling more competitive and PvP, of course, we have Marvel Rivals. Moon Knight is my main in this game, and this has been one of the main ways I've had my fun with Moon Knight in the past few months. I'm at my very core single player guy, so I can't say it exactly scratches my itch, but it's still a good way to play some Marvel Universe for yourself. Mark Spector over here is very good at dealing with crowds, as his attacks bounce, and more enemies that gather against you, the better. His ult is also meant for AoE damage, and Moon Knight ends up being a very good anti-tank solution in my opinion. Although I'm pretty sure almost everyone is aware of this game at this point, and revealing this will not add much to your collection of Moon Knight games, but I still had to mention it. I absolutely love Moon Knight and Marvel Rivals. And with that, we're diving more into the mod territory, and this will be a long one. We have Blades and Sorcerer VR, which will allow you to do some Moon Knight VR gameplay, and you can be both MCU Moon Knight and Mr. Knight skins. This one is particularly quite badass, and if you have a VR, you will have a heck of a time, even if it's only for 1 or 2 nights. Next up, we're diving into the Soul series, and there is a Moon Knight skin for Elden Ring. Now, unfortunately, I've not found any Moon Knight weapons per se, but you can honestly be flexible. Unlike someone like Daredevil, Moon Knight, as we all know, does not shy away from killing from time to time. So pick up a decent weapon you feel like fits and you're good to go. You can see my choice on the screen. From there, we move to another great pick, Sifu, which I think fits Moon Knight a little less than someone like Daredevil, but this will still feel authentic and overall a great choice for many martial arts experiences. Let's not forget, in comics, Moon Knight doesn't have some special supernatural abilities most of the time. He's just good at fighting. Another modded game to have fun in would be Yakuza 0, which has a great combat system, and someone made a Moon Knight skin for it. I missed it in my last video for Daredevil as well, so I'm here to catch up and let you know that you can also play Daredevil in Yakuza 0 and have lots of fun. Yakuza is a very underrated series in my opinion, so I'd recommend checking it out regardless. And that's it for my main mod picks, believe it or not. Let's move on to honorable mentions, as I call them, I guess. Games I had Moon Knight in but don't necessarily recommend. First of all, LEGO games. The first LEGO Marvel Superheroes has a very basic Moon Knight, very basic moveset, and a standout ability of throwing his crescent darts. In the second one though, we've got a bit more, as Moon Knight can now sugar glide around, and he has a staff as his main weapon, which is a nice upgrade, but that's kind of it. Very bare bones, and I don't think you'll ever pick this game to be Vengeance. Moving on, something I missed last time. Yes, we've got Fortnite. We have both Daredevil and Moon Knight in this game, with a Mr. Knight skin option, which is my choice. Unlike Daredevil though, I'd say Moon Knight feels more at home here. Using guns is something once again he does not shy away from, so your headcanon of Mark Spector being stuck on an island and having to shoot his way out is safe. And I mean, it's just a great skin in my opinion, I just like playing with it. Finally, we're moving to the last honorable mention, Insomniac's Spider-Man. Yes, we have a Moon Knight skin here too, but once again, the game is at its core a very Spider-Man experience, and there is a lot less martial arts involved and a lot more web shooting and flying around. Unlike Batman, this one is hard to change into anything else until someone somehow would figure out a mod for it, which still hasn't happened yet, so I don't think it will. So my headcanon is broken and I pass on this one too. And that's it. These are all Moon Knight experiences I could dig up. Now when it comes to actually choosing the best ones, we of course have Marvel rivals, but my biggest recommendation stands to be Marvel Ultimate Alliance series. First game recommended to be modded, and third one if you have the Switch. These are undoubtedly top pick single player experiences. I would also have a strong suggestion of trying out Marvel Heroes Omega if you haven't yet. Moon Knight is a complex, fully fleshed out character here, and I had a lot more fun than expected. After that, you're fully in the modding zone unfortunately. Top pick is likely Batman Arkham in this case, just because of how freaking cool and fresh it feels. But Sifu is a good contender too, although I do reserve it to be my Daredevil game, as sad as it sounds. And there's that. Let me know which one is your favorite Moon Knight experience, and I hope you liked the video. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.